15th, 2020, and the regular board meeting minutes, May 19th, 2020. All trustees have had them given to them earlier and had a chance to review them.
Second.
I second it.
Okay, with that, we will, any changes or corrections? Having none, we'll take a roll call for
We're not on YouTube.
exceptions.
It's not broadcasting on YouTube.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Alette. Trustee
That's live on
Sabarowski,
YouTube.
I'm on YouTube. and I can
McFall.
see it.
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham.
Aye, thank you very much. With that, we'll move on to item number 5, new communications 20-01, Todd Michaels, Village Manager, recommending revision in the village noise ordinance. Todd?
Yeah, thank you. Sarah, can you check and make sure we're on YouTube now?
Yeah, it's like a minute delay, so
It just delayed it a little bit. Okay.
yeah, it just delays it.
All right, thank you. The village board had asked staff to look into updating our noise ordinance. Attached with this memo is a draft noise ordinance for the board review. The form of this ordinance was recommended by the village attorney and is in use in another community. Form of this ordinance has been extensively legally reviewed. Staff has made some changes to the ordinance to fit within our municipal code and our restrictions in our current noise ordinance. This ordinance is only enforceable within our municipal boundary. It cannot be enforced on persons or property owners in the city of Franklin, city of Greenfield, or the village of Hales Corners. Staff does not believe that this draft ordinance will increase limitations on any activities currently being done within the village of Greendale, meaning we don't believe that anybody, if we pass this, would be violating it with the things they're currently doing. Consider a motion to refer the draft noise ordinance to the Public Health, Safety, and Welfare Committee for their review recommendation.
Take a motion.
I recommend the board move to refer the noise ordinance as outlined by Manager Michaels to the Public Health, Welfare, and Safety Committee for their review and recommendation at the earliest possible.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on this? We'll be discussing. Yes, Sally?
Is there any chance to have the ordinance reviewed by experts in the field, if you will, to see if something like this is feasible at all?
I think if you pay for it.
This is actually, yeah, if we want to pay for it, but this has been, it's used in another community. And they've even had it, our attorney's office wrote it, and it's been like independently reviewed by another attorney.
Oh, so this is a copy of something that has that is in other communities?
Yes, at least one other.
One other? Okay. Do you happen to know offhand what it would cost?
Absolutely no idea. You'd have to hire a sound expert.
Okay, thank you.
That's what you're asking.
Any other questions with that? We'll take a vote for acceptance, please.
Trustee Alette. Aye. Trustee Sabarowski. Trustee Sabarowski.
You're on mute. Oh, no, you're not, but we lost you.
He said aye.
I hear him.
Trustee McFall.
Aye.
Trustee Sell.
Aye.
Trustee Chadwick.
Aye.
President Birmingham.
Aye.
Trustee Barbian.
Affirmative.
Thank you. With that, we'll go to item number 6, standing committees. Number 8, Finance Committee, Trustee Barbian.
Thank you, President Birmingham. We have several items on for tonight. The first item is the Finance Committee is recommending the board to approve these temporary Class B licenses. Greendale Lions Club, Farmers Market, 6/20 through 6/27/2020. Also approve the Greendale Lions Club, Lions Family Fourth Fest, Gazebo Park, Broad Street, between Crocus and Schoolway, 7/2/2020 through 7/4/2020. 2020, Greendale Lions Club, Village Days, Gazebo Park, Broad Street between Crocus and Schoolway, 8/13/2020 through 8/16/2020. Finance Committee recommends this approval. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion or questions in regards to approval of these licenses for any of these events? I hear none, so I would ask for a roll call, please.
Talk louder.
Quick
Hold
question,
on.
I'm sorry. Hold on for the roll call. Trustee Bell?
Is it common the Lions Club has is it the ability to sell alcohol at the farmer's market? Is that new?
What was it?
I don't believe they've done it in the past, but
I'll answer yes. That's usually a question for the clerk because she issues the licenses.
It is new this year. They are trying to, how do I say this? So since it won't be sold in the park, they've moved with the Lions so that way they can sell alcohol closer to the farmer's market.
no, I understand.
Donna has a question. Hold on. Donna has a question. Can you hear
Go
her?
ahead, Donna.
Okay, just wondering, so is this that they're gonna be doing on behalf of public celebrations for the Green Market? Is that correct?
Not on behalf of, it's through the Lions Club. They're the ones that applied.
Todd, do you know? Or Kristen?
So
I
they
thought,
applied for a liquor license for the markets.
Right, but that's,
hold on a second. I believe Kristen's trying to talk.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. So since the PCC wanted to sell drinks at the market, I had this discussion with Jackie, Jim, and Todd, and we decided that if we could sell in the street, it would be better for the event. And we asked the Lions and the GEA if they would partner with the PCC so that we could split the profits and be out there in the public this summer at the markets. It's still pending with Jackie, but we decided that it would just make sense to submit the licenses for the first two and then see how that goes. And then we would trade off with the GEA and Lions going forward if that's a possibility.
So my understanding, explain to me how this, so the Lions gonna have it in the festival or?
The
Say that-
Lions and the PCC would partner together for just the first two events. We just wanted to get the licenses in for this meeting today. And then going forward, we're still not sure what the market is all going to be able to allow, but we thought when I talked to Todd, we were like, well, let's just get the licenses in and get them approved. So if we're able to, the Lions and the PCC can partner for the first two events, and then we'll trade off with the GEA.
Although
going
this
forward.
is saying the Lions, the PCC is in this as well.
Right. So GEA, Lions, and PCC are kind of all in it together for the summer markets, if that's a possibility.
First couple, you guys are splitting the money?
Right. We were just going to split the money with the Lions. Were submitting other licenses for the 4th of July and everything. So we just figured, well, there's two, and then there's the 4th of July, and there's not any markets for a while. So let's just get these first two approved, and we'll go from there with the GEA.
All right. Yeah, I
That
like,
makes sense.
personally, I'd like to see you, I'd like to see them do them myself, but I understand we
Re-
got to go.
Right. We can't sell alcohol
I understand.
as a government, right, unless we're in the park. And then we're kind of far removed from it and everything, especially if it's smaller. So that was kind of the idea.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Sally?
thanks so much.
So basically, if all three of you, the groups if they have all agreed to this?
Yes.
Okay, and second of all, could you tell me what kind of alcohol would be sold?
So what we did last year was we did this because we can only sell malt beverages. So we found a Bloody Mary mix in a can, and we ended up pouring it in a cup with the condiments and everything. We did beer mosas. So we did Blue Moon and orange juice. And then we had like leftover White Claw, and we had juice boxes and soda and everything. This was all spawned last year from leftovers from Pepalooza. So we got some fun morning drinks, and it was a big hit last year. So we thought we would try it again this year and try and get on the street and partner with other groups that might not be as present over the summer with other events being canceled too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the village covering the insurance on that then?
Say that again?
Is the village covering the insurance, the liquor liability, or who is?
If the Lions got the license, they have the liability insurance as well. So that was why we just started them off first with the 2 first dates, and then we'll go from there.
Very good.
That I just didn't see that in the packet.
Further questions? All right, Ron, it's yours.
I hear no other further questions. Very good questions asked there, by the way. Thank you from everybody. I would ask for a roll call on this item then.
Trustee Siborowski,
Aye.
trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Olet.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is discussion and necessary action regarding the bids, for the AD curb ramp improvement project, FC 2011, that we had authorized at budget time to try to repair on the roads. Finance Committee is moving at present to reject the bids for the ADA curb ramp improvement project and to rebid the project, same location, in the fall after determining the funding for the 21 CDBG fund. Right now, pushing this off makes sense to find out where we sit before we do any commitments for the curbs. So that's the motion. If I could have a second, then we'll do discussion.
Second motion?
Donna seconded.
Okay, I didn't hear, I'm sorry. Any questions or comments on pushing this item back until the fall?
Ron, can I ask, what was the budgeted amount for that project?
I don't have it right in front of me.
I believe it was 75,000.
Okay.
Yeah, 75.
So
That,
the bids came in very, very high.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the bid is 80,000, roughly 81,000, but that doesn't include engineering. either.
Right.
We
Yep.
we didn't want to commit any general fund money to this.
Correct.
We
Okay.
went To the
Yeah.
other guys, and this way we
No,
can do it. but
No,
This is a very sound decision.
Again, I was just very curious to see what was budgeted for that project and how much over it was. Because there again, we're kind of tight on money, so good call.
Yeah, and I agree with Todd. We don't want to use our own money if we don't have to.
No,
Good call.
Sally?
I'm just curious if we do push this off, and I don't have a problem pushing it off until the fall. Is there still enough time to have it taken care of in the fall before cold weather, knowing Wisconsin weather?
No.
It would be done in spring of next year because it's grant money with the county.
We're gonna wait for their money anyway,
So we're
so.
waiting to see if we get the 2021 funds for the same project, we would add that in and then rebid the whole thing.
Okay,
What's the
thank you.
split between our money and the grant money?
The whole project is grant money. So if we accepted these bids, we'd have to pay part of it out of our budget, which we didn't budget for. So if we get awarded the same grant for 2021, then we can add it to that, rebid the whole thing, and then be able to do the project all in grant money.
makes sense. Any other questions in regards to it?
Trustee Chadwick?
Would it be wise to then wait until next year?
No, we're better off bidding in the fall and possibly getting better bid prices.
Okay,
We could also reject them in the fall if they're not good.
okay.
Sorry, one last question. So if we bid again in the fall, we would still have this year's grant money. So if we accepted that bid, we wouldn't need to wait to see what happened next year.
Yeah, we're using 19 money, 20 money, and now 21 money to do this. So the project will get bigger for next year.
Gotcha.
Basically, the engineering that was done now will be good, but then he'll have to add more curb sections or ramp sections, sorry.
Yeah, if we all get the same money, it'll be nice. We'll have a nice pot then.
Okay, other questions? I hear none. Therefore, I'd like to ask for a roll call on this item, please.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Olet,
Aye.
trustee Siborowski.
The motion carries. Next item is the Finance Committee's internal audit of bills presented for payment. Each month, it's rotated between one of the trustees to examine P cards, ACHs, and checks at random and check the details and see if they match up to what our expectations are. This particular month, President Birmingham had the duty assigned to him. President Birmingham, if you could give an update on that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I picked, I think it was 8, total 1, 2, 3 from each group, and all look good. Well done, and excellent. So I'm good, and I would put those forward to have accepted.
Thank you. Other trustees have had a chance to look at all the items that have come through for payment. Any questions or concerns on any item? I hear none. Thank you, President Birmingham, for doing that.
Hey, you're welcome.
Next item is approval of accounts payable checks for payments this month. Finance Committee recommends the board approve payment for accounts payable checks number 56565 to 56639, the amount of $177,498.62. Recommending for payment of ACH payments for the month number 12873 through 12889, the amount of $401,407.22, along with the P card purchases number 1 through 36, the amount of $90,260.72. Finance Committee is recommending approval for this month of $669,166.56. I have a second from Trustee Siborowski. Any questions or comments on this amount for approval from any of the trustees? Did not hear any questions, so I would ask for a roll call on that, please.
Trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Olet,
Aye.
trustee Siborowski,
Aye.
trustee McFall.
Aye.
The last item for the Finance Committee tonight is an update on status of accounts from April 30th, 2020.
I'd ask that this item be held over to the next meeting when the clerk or when the treasurer can be there.
Okay. Finance Committee recommends this item be held over to the next meeting for Treasury, when Treasury is here for an update. That concludes the Finance Committee's reports for tonight.
Thank you, trustee Barbian. We'll move on then. Planning Commission, anything this
No,
time?
no meeting.
All right. Library Board, trustee Sells. You're on. Yep, there you go.
All right. So just a couple of updates from the library. The library reopened to limited in-person service last Wednesday. They are continuing curbside pickup to support the health of the vulnerable population. The library board will continue referring to the Greendale Health Department's guidance when deciding to move through the next phases of reopening. Staff have been heavily engaged in transitioning their work to remote and virtual programming and have found success still with story times, trivia nights, and teams. Our next meeting is June 17th. That's it.
Very good, thank you. Public Works, trustee McFall.
There was no meeting.
Very good, thank you.
Trustee McFall, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Did you get any updates on, I've noticed and I've had a few comments from residents, the planting seems to be going very well on the bioswales on Grange. Are they going very well?
From what I've heard of, yes, they have been, but due to probably that wet rain we had, probably put them back a little bit. But for the most part, yes, everything is going fine.
Okay,
That's
Thank you.
Rod too.
Yeah, thanks to Rod, Director of Public
Right.
Works.
Rod, and we could, very good. With that, I'll move on, Board of Health. Jason?
No meeting.
Nothing, okay. And also the same with Public Health? Jason, nothing? Okay.
No meeting.
Park and Rec, Trustee Sells?
We have a meeting next Wednesday, but no meeting
Very
yet.
good. And Public Celebration, Trustee Olet?
No meeting.
Okay, very good. With that, we'll move on to the next item, old business. I have a couple appointments, but I'm gonna, there's some questions going on and I'm gonna hold them off until the next meeting on the 16th. So I will do that on the 16th for those that are up here, Health Department and so I'm gonna hold those off to the 16th at this time. And with that, we'll go to item next item, which is BOT 2037, discussion and necessary action regarding closing Broad Street for downtown village restaurants, Greendale restaurants, placed on the agenda by Trustee Sells and Traborski. Trustee Sells, you want to start it off?
Sure. Did you have something, Jason?
Just a quick question. I have something for old business. Do you want me to do that after this since you brought this up already?
Say that again.
I have something for old business, but do you want to do this first?
Sure.
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, we met last Tuesday with, hold on one second. And if we can get rid of the echo.
Okay.
Which I think we did. Good job. All right, so we met last Tuesday with the stakeholders, and we invited everyone, and a lot of the stakeholders showed up, and we discussed, brainstormed how to make closing Broad Street or any other variation of ideas successful, so that restaurant and bar owners could more successfully deal with the guidelines of limiting how many people are in their space due to the COVID issue. And we met for about 2 hours, and I think every time there's a lot of great ideas, and then at the end it would say, okay, what about this? And it kind of, we came to a realization that we weren't going to be able to figure this out, how to do this in the necessary time frame, which was, a few days. It would take longer. And we did have a good conversation. I think there may be something there long-term where we can do something really cool in Greendale. But for now, addressing this issue, we're not going to go ahead and ask to close Broad Street. However, what we did decide was that we should try to be as flexible as possible. If the owners of bars and restaurants in all of Greendale, we discussed specifically Broad Street, but everywhere wanted to apply for a temporary extension of premise or a modification to their license to have more outdoor seating, whether it be taking away a parking space or whether it be extending down the sidewalk a bit more, or in Panther Pub's case, there's the slab of concrete next to the dumpster in the back there where they can maybe put some tables. So I have gotten some follow-up from folks. I think Mike Drilling from Panther Pub is going to submit us soon. And I believe that Jennifer from Vintage 38 did submit one as well. And she got some feedback from us. And so hopefully, we can be flexible and do whatever we can. But there's a couple things I do want to mention. Jennifer, I think, got feedback that she would need to potentially add bathrooms due to an increased square footage of her space, which, that's not really our intention here. We're not trying to nitpick or make it difficult. We want to just make this work for everyone. And while there may be expanded square footage, there's not going to be an expanded guest necessarily because of the guidelines they're trying to abide by. So it's more space hopefully the same amount of people, but likely less people.
And
So
I think Ken had something to say on that. Go ahead, Ken. Ken, go ahead.
Okay, unfortunately, if they don't add any tables, most of the bigger restaurants are assembly areas and their bathroom facilities are determined by square footage. So if they add a ton of more square footage, it doesn't matter how many tables they add. They still may have to have the extra bathrooms. I know Vintage is right on the limit right now. And the proposal I seen for them was all the way down the sidewalk. They wanted to add seating and in the parking lot. So if it's where we had to at least put our bathroom trailer over by the library, somewhere you need to get more bathrooms in there.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and so could we put if that's a technical issue, we need to get around, let's put the bathroom trailer down in the village center.
We could do that.
That certainly could do that. I think that would help us on gazebo weekends are coming up anyway, so.
So what I asked her to do was I said, can you just submit your application and we'll vote on it one way or another. And I think maybe if this specific one comes through, we can approve it, but then also approve putting the trailer down there for however long.
Go ahead, Ken.
One other point is that I wouldn't want to see any of the handicap spaces go away down there. So if they're in a place where they're going to take a handicap space, they'll have to remake one somewhere else because we're limited as it is.
Okay.
We count the handicap spaces in our parking lot for all of that retail there.
And
Okay.
Ken, Matt, I think great that you brought this. I just saw an article in the Journal this weekend where the city of Milwaukee also is looking at closing some of their side streets for tables and chairs. So I think this is a great idea. But I agree that I don't know how you quite surround this, but I think if we work with all the, all of our own stores and our restaurants out there and look individually what their needs are, I think this board will work with their needs. So thank you for bringing that up.
One last comment I wanted to make is I don't want to be exclusive to downtown Greendale here. And I wondered if there's any communication we could have with the other restaurant owners in Greendale and let them know that we had a meeting and we're looking to be creative to fight. So if they have any requests from us on how they can succeed by expanding.
Such as where? Southridge, you're thinking?
Yeah, I guess, Ron went over by Explorium. I guess he saw an area where they had a few tables.
Yeah, he's got, yeah.
And then, they,
How does that work, Todd, with Southridge is their own entity, right?
We could contact the restaurants that are, I guess, close to entryways where they could do it outside and offer it, but we'd have to do, like Ken mentioned.
But maybe, Matt, you are suggesting we just reach out to them and make a part of the.
Yeah, we'll reach out to them and just say what we're willing to do, but they have to apply, and then we have to make sure that they still abide by the building code and still have enough handicap parking and all those things.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt and Jason, both. Thank you for.
I would like to thank them both also. I think this is a very creative idea to help us get more capacity, and thank you again for bringing up the
Thanks,
idea.
Kristen, as well for your input. With that, okay, I guess this is, we're just waiting for, oh yeah, go ahead, Jason. Put yourself off of mute. You're on mute. There you go.
Okay. All right, there you go. I had something for old business. The last meeting we talked about the fire captain's pay.
You're
And
freezing
I
and we're not,
wondered if
I'm not
something that we
understanding
could
you. You're
talk
freezing.
About in old business.
Jason, you may want to come over and talk on Matt's phone. There you go. Matt, take yourself. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're better. Okay.
Sorry about that. This is regarding the back pay for the firemen. I was wondering if we could talk about that in the old business to try to get that through.
I don't know if we can. Todd, you're on mute.
Got it.
Unfortunately, that has. Go ahead, Todd.
No, it would have to be on the agenda. And we looked at that, and we were told, and Sarah, please correct me if I'm wrong. We looked at that, and that was supposed to come back when the audit came back.
Yeah, I think that to see how our finances played out in 2019. They said to wait, so that will be probably next meeting.
Next meeting, we'll talk and then move that. Yeah, I expect to. Yeah.
So even if that's not done, can we just make sure it's on the next meeting?
Yep. Yep.
Sure, if that's okay with the board, yeah.
All right. Can I
Yeah.
get a-
And Jason, I had that on my agenda to move on. So.
Okay. All right.
So Jason, so I guess for all the board members, if you want something on the next agenda, you ask. If Jim says yes, we put it on the next agenda. If he says no, then the board has to vote and decide whether they're going to support Jim.
Since it was on my agenda already, Jason, it's on. So that's what I wanted to move that on. Thank you. So what is that? They can override me? Oh, I don't want to be overridden anyways. I mean, I don't even want to have the decision. All right, with that, we're going to go on to item A on new business BOT 2044. Discussion regarding the 2020 downtown market. Jackie, I believe you're with us, and if you want to give us a little update of what's going on in the market.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Am I really loud though?
No.
Okay, very
You're good.
You're good.
So thanks for this opportunity. Of course, I was hoping to do it in person because that's who I am. But I just wanted to have an opportunity to share with you because I know everything is opening up. And as Matt said, there's so much that changes, evolves daily. We're kind of into weekly now, but I have been doing a lot of the Zoom conversations regarding farmer markets. And then Sarah, did you get a chance to send an email or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in there, I just referenced that the Department of Ag, they oversee markets, the Department of Health Services, UW-Madison Division of Extension, and our West Dallas Health Department. So I'm trying to do the best for the community. My largest problem with the market, as all of you would know is it's turned into a very social event, which I am excited to be a part of. And I know you all support it a lot, but I guess, and whether this is my personal, but I think it's part of our society right now that we need to move a little cautiously for the safety of our community, because I'm very hopeful that, we can at least do our part and try to hopefully even open schools come fall if we can try to curb, the COVID, at least in Greendale. So anyway, with the market, what I put in this email, there are minimum guidelines, and I'm kind of not going to follow all of them, but like the no seating, so the picnic tables and the round tables that I bring out for at least the first couple of markets, I'm not going to do that. Guidelines say no food sampling, kind of makes sense. Maintaining the physical distancing. Some markets have even, they put out a spot, they mark off a 6-foot section. I'm not doing that because I think we can manage that with being there. They have recommended eliminating music, activities, promotions, arts and crafts, pets from the market, because those are all things that will cause people to stop and talk or, pet the dog or whatever. They recommend that we have hand washing stations and or hand sanitizers. Even recommend, and here we just did the big thing to sell those downtown market bags, that they shouldn't bring them because you don't know what's in their cloth. And they recommend single members of family shop, discourage children. We'll recommend that, but we will not enforce that at all. How I am looking for opening the market, and it is scheduled for Saturday, June 20th. So I think the big news is that there will be a market. We plan to open it. However, in the social distancing thing, you all know that we set up on each curbside, which pushes everybody into the middle of the street. And that does not allow for any social distancing. So I've tried to think how to best do this. I talked to Manager Michaels about the possibility of moving it to the municipal parking lot, but I love Broad Street because I think the visual is there for people to see when they drive up the street that there's something going on. Is that we put the vendors back to back down the middle of the street. And that allows the vendors are at least 8 feet apart because they'll be at the front of their booths. And then I still have to then space them between their booths. And they recommend 15 feet. I can't get that because one booth is 10 feet. I have 48 booth spaces on the street from the driveway to the driveway. We have 36 vendors, but several of them, like the farmers, require 3 to 4 booths. Okay, so trying to get the maximum in there, but allowing that little bit of extra space. Attendees would have to walk clockwise around the vendors as they go. So they'd walk toward Village Hall and down and around. Again, that helps with the socializing. However, we have the advantage that the walk across in the middle of the street, if people decide they want to go back to a vendor, they only have to go halfway down the street to turn back. Customers will not be allowed to enter a vendor's booth. So they're going to have to, again, from a distancing thing. Again, we're not bringing the picnic tables and seating at this time. Our music, we've actually had a couple of our music vendors say they aren't coming. I have purchased 2 hand sanitizing stations, which we will put at the north end and the south end. One of the big things, and I guess this is where I just I just need to tell you this. So it basically was initially saying prepackaged foods only to be sold at the market. And so that would have eliminated like Yeppy Hill cooking on the street, popping popcorn, gift of wings. Lopez, I felt were okay because they make their stuff at the bakery, wrap it, put it in a heat box and bring it. But the big part, so I worked through that part that they can be there. However, you still aren't supposed to be eating on the street because it's causing that socialization. And so like Yeppy Hill, she can make her omelets, put them in the boats, wrap them in tinfoil, give you a fork in a plastic case, and you can go, but you can't eat it on the street. But I'm just like looking ahead saying, I know where people are going to go to the coffee shop, they're going to go to Furch's, they're going to eat off the street, which is causing a social distancing issue, but we're also probably putting some garbage issues onto Grand Haven property. So just that, you know, that's where we're at, that beverages shouldn't be sold. And that's where I had talked with Kristen. But one thing that we did talk about is Manager Michaels and I, that part of the problem last year with putting the food or putting the Village's beverages up on the grass area by the fountain was the market didn't extend that far, but I really believe when I get into the actual physical setup, because I have to use all the space, that we'll have vendors all the way up to where kind of that area is, that if I can't fit that booth on the street, that we could look to put that on the grass area. Is that correct, Manager Michaels? We're still on that same boat? Or, yep, okay. And then our vendors need to minimize customer handling of their products. And that's partially why, like crafters, you have to, because crafters people like to stop, they like to touch, they like to look through things. I'm a real shopper, but they're not, we're supposed to discourage that from going on. And then we will require our vendors to clean and disinfect the high touch areas of what they have going on. We will have a sign posted with some of these general guidelines that just say, if you're not feeling sick, don't come in, and we will not be requiring face masks. We can encourage it, but not require it. So that's where we're at. On that email at the bottom, I kind of listed the for sure vendors, but again, they all don't come every market. The Apple Man, Ella Apples, he's not available with his produce until the end of July. And again, I would hope that you can trust my discretion that I will continue to look at this. Park and Rec, when we decided to even put out a summer booklet and offer programming opportunities, I figured it would be work, but it's become a lot more work because everything I'm touching, I need to work through. And I'm not complaining. It's just, I want it to be good for the community. I want it to be safe, and I want us to have fun. And that's why I put that out there. We opened childcare up yesterday. That went well. We had an adult art class. So I'm trying to get this stuff out there, and I just wanted the opportunity to talk to all of you at this point in time, because I know a couple of you had talked and asked, and Matt, you would get this, or Trustee Sal, at our meeting next week. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I don't know if anybody has questions, because I haven't notified the vendors yet. Those packets need to go out next week. So I thought this would be a good opportunity. So.
Any questions for Jackie from anyone?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Sally, go ahead.
Jackie, do you think the situation that you have right now where they're in the center and stuff, once the governor changes things, do you feel that we will go back to the old ways? Or do you think this might be for the whole summer?
I guess I can't answer that, Trustee Chadwick. I will continue to evaluate it. If we can figure out how we can kind of safely do some of the distancing, I just don't want to have the crowds, and yet I know that's what everybody loves, to kind of spread that out. And I don't know how to do that, but I will continue to evaluate it.
Okay, so basically this is all straight down for food that we're using. So all of your crafters and everything, of course, will not be able to be at the market until something changes, and it may or may not happen this summer.
That could be, but my goal would be to try to figure something out. And I'd like to use the first 2 markets, because we've talked to other people, and if there aren't a lot of people coming, which actually has been an experience in some communities, that we could possibly then bring more of that in to try to build that base up for all vendors. But right now, I'm right now looking at the first 2 markets. We have June 2027. We're not scheduled to have a market on July 2nd. So it gives us time, and that's what I would tell all the vendors, that we will continually be looking and seeing how we can adjust it.
I'd like to offer a suggestion of possibly extending the market over into the gazebo area.
We have Jackie, you there?
I was writing a note. I'm sorry, and you guys can't see.
Sally, we just have to be aware we have
clean. I guess that would, I can't answer that right now. I will take it as a suggestion, but I would want to talk with the DPW director, with village manager Michaels, and kind of look, because that's going to create another traffic.
you got Sally, you'd have another whole area to close the roads at. So I don't know how you do that and get people across the street safely.
You wouldn't do it. You would not close the road. You'd treat it more like it is when they do rummage on the green.
Okay, I understand. All right, something to look at. Thank you.
I understand.
Yes, Rob, go ahead. Rob.
Hey, Jackie, how many vendors do we have signed up right now at this point?
I have 36.
Okay, and then as the season goes on, as the harvest comes, are we getting more, or is it just stay at 36?
I would say right now, because this includes the Apple Man. I mean, these people sign up for the entire market season.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I say that, but they all don't come every time, so
Okay.
I have 36 vendors there every week.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
Further questions for Jackie? Jackie, thank you for all you do out there on the market, and we'll all be there, and hope that this can all open up nicely. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, and then the last item tonight is the item we all been waiting for, BOT 2045 discussion and necessary action, 2020 4th of July celebration. Manager Michaels. You're on speaker. Off, all right.
In light of COVID-19 and also recent events with the protests and looting, and the fact that I believe at this point, the only communities holding 4th of July activities are Bayside, I think just has a parade. This is in Milwaukee County, and Fox Point. The concern is that if we're the only ones running a 4th of July event, you know, even if we would get 1 in 100 people from the county, that'd be 10,000 people. And there's no way that our staff can handle that. Well, the staff and parking. I mean, we just wouldn't be able, it would be mob scene.
And I have to kind of say, you know, I've been one of the really pushers on having the 4th right from the beginning, 4th and the parade. But seeing and hearing now just from the mayor of Franklin and the mayor of Greenfield and the mayors on the south side, who all have folded their tents and going home, they just also want to let us know, talking to Mayor Olson at Franklin, he feels we would be inundated, especially with people on their borderline. So my concern is, as I've talked to Todd, is I don't know how we do this part of it or any of it without really having some problems with the number of people, but also with the current situation going on. Could be all over by then. It's 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away. Will there be any repercussions on that? I think we fairly, now I'm understanding, Jackie, and I'll have Jackie talk in a minute, that we're, Jackie, how many units are we down to on the parade? Jackie Kramer?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have currently 24 units. And
24.
we usually have about 70.
Yeah, so we're down to 24. Normally we have 70. So really small, not that makes a parade or doesn't make it, but I'd like to hear from everybody on here, all the trustees of where they're thinking. But the recommendation, I have to go with what Todd said, but let's hear from him, whoever wants to start. Ron, go ahead.
I'll start. I also, along with you, Jim, was very hopeful that we could find some ways to make at least part of the 4th of July celebration happen. But with all the recommendations coming in and the influx of potential crowds from other areas, I just don't see how. It's very unfortunate, but I would have to say I have to go along with the motion to cancel for the 4th of July.
Matt Sal, please.
Yeah, I'm with Ron, and as far as the citizen feedback I've gotten, it's been literally 100% for canceling 4th of July. At the same time, I've gotten a lot of feedback and all 100% in favor of and pleading to keep Village Days.
Oh yeah, and that's another discussion. Yeah, I agree with
Another discussion. So if we did cancel the fireworks and or the parade, I would say maybe let's roll that money towards Village Days and make it really great. The question I had though was the fireworks. Is that something we may be able to still get away with putting on, since I don't know, it's not like a central, well, I guess it is central, but you can watch them from a lot of places.
Todd, do you have anything to say about that?
No, we would just say again, we can't handle the amount of people that we could possibly get.
Yeah, once people see that. All right, Sally, please.
Jackie, or Todd, do we know if the 4th of July fireworks are working in any other communities? Are they willing to have that?
No.
And could I have an explanation again about the money that we just voted on for the 4th of July fireworks?
Sarah or Todd?
As far as the money, if we let them know by June 4th, we would pay 50% of the cost, and that would be applied to our 2021 fireworks show if we use Melrose.
Do we lose the money, the rest of the money though?
We pay half and that would be applied as a credit for next year. So we really don't lose any money, but we do have to put half of it down since we approved the contract.
So in other words, let's just say it's 10,000, what, 5,000 we get back right away, but the other 5,000 will be credited to 2021.
We haven't paid anything yet, but we would owe them if we cancel, since we already signed the contract, half of it, which I believe is
We would
15,000.
have no money out, so.
You pay
Right, okay. I
7,500, but
meant
that would be
as an
applied.
example, and that's why I said it was an example. The second thing is, is that the other communities, do we know what they are doing?
Nothing.
We have heard from the ones around us. As Todd has said, we know of only 2 in the north side that are doing it. Franklin is definitely out. They voted last night. Greenfield is out. We heard South Milwaukee is out. We hear nobody else is having it at all on the south side.
No fireworks, right?
No fireworks or no nothing.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Rob, please.
Yeah, I guess I feel the same as all you, is that it's a good decision. I mean, I'm sad to say it, but it's a good decision, and I think as a board, we're responsible for the health and safety of our citizens of the village here, and I agree. I think we should cancel it.
Donna has a comment.
Donna, go ahead.
No, I definitely, I really was hoping that we could have it, whatever, just not possible. But my question is, if we would have village days, is if have Melrose do the fire, Sunday village days?
Are you asking, Sally? I'm sorry, Donna, I can hardly hear you.
Her question is, can we have Melrose do fireworks for Village Days? Possibly.
Can we?
Yeah, we signed an addendum for this, so we could change the date to Village Days. Now I'll have to ask them, if we have to cancel Village Days, is there, what would be the procedure for that? But I can ask them.
I think the general, and talking to a few of the trustees, was that if we didn't have Village Days or 4th of July, we certainly would like to enhance the 4th of July or the fireworks at Village Days. I think that's the general thinking of everybody, that maybe we have a bigger party on Village Days. And again, I want everybody to understand that's on here and talking is that this, the discussion tonight is only on 4th of July. We are no discussion on Village Days. That is still on and still rolling as far as we are concerned. So we're not talking to that. Go ahead, Sarah, please, first.
I just want to let you know, Rich Buzlaki is raising his hand, so I think he's
Oh,
looking
I'm
for an
sorry,
opportunity
Rich.
to speak with you.
I don't see you. Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Village Board, Mr. President, members of the board, staff, as well as the police chief and fire chief. Rich Busalaki, president of the Greendale Lions Club. I just want to share a couple things with you and let you know the planning that we've done and where we are ready to assist if we can and help the village move forward. The Greendale Lions Board voted a couple nights ago that we would follow the lead of the village board based upon what the village board decided to do, whether they wanted to proceed with the 4th or not. As you know, the July Festival, as well as the Village Days, are the 2 biggest fundraisers for the Greendale Lions Club in order to give back to the money that we raise back to the community. Just a couple of things I want to let you know about. The Lions Festival team met and has redesigned the layout of this year's event to accommodate more open space and a less confinement to a tent. The redesign is thanks to the input received from Kristen. Our initial special event request has not changed. We will also be providing additional, if we do the festival, additional hand sanitizing washing stations, more bathrooms in addition to hand sanitizing stations. Additionally, we have looked at our food operation and we'll be making some changes, including no open condiments and spreading out the seating area. We will also be making signs that encourage individuals to wash hands, keep their distance, and if necessary, to spread the crowd out, have another tent and another beer tent over in the parking lot in order to spread the crowd out. My comments to the board I'd like to really make tonight is a couple things. I was notified 2 weeks ago that New Berlin was canceling, and I was also notified late last night from the festival in Franklin that Franklin was canceling. But I also want to let you know that there are many venues that are having bands that are indoor bands, which include anything from the House of Harley on Layton Avenue to in Brookfield, some venues, AJ's, as well as other venues that are having live bands that will be providing live entertainment with many individuals. The other thing I just want to share with you is that the decision you make tonight on the 4th of July, understanding that we have COVID issues, whether people want to come out, wear a mask, they don't want to come out, whatever their personal choice is, but please also understand that the decision you make tonight is going to be very parallel to the decision you make for Village Days. The decision you make tonight for the 4th of July is that we will be the only event happening for the 4th of July. We will be the only ones. There's nothing else happening in the surrounding community. Please also understand that a month later, we're going to have to make the same decision because tomorrow I have to let our bands know 30 days whether we can or we cancel. But the decision you make tonight is not just about the 4th of July, it's also about Village Days. Because if the board is voting no tonight, which is their complete prerogative to do that, if that happens, please understand that that no vote also affirms
Rick,
no
we're
vote.
not discussing Village Days. You
I
want to discuss it? You can
understand,
discuss it, but it's not on our
But
agenda.
the parallel is there will be no other event going on in August.
That's fine.
So I'm just trying to put everything on the table that a no vote tonight is also indicating a future no vote for Village Days, because if we're not doing 4th of July for the same reasons, we probably shouldn't be doing Village Days because we're going to be the only event in town.
It is the same thing.
Cards are on the table, so everybody understands what we're dealing with. So we will certainly follow the lead of the village board. If the village board decides they don't want to move forward, we're going to cancel all of our activities.
Okay. Rich, I appreciate you giving us a background. You're exactly correct, but again, I guess I don't view them both, and you're right. The only thing not happening, everything happening in August have been canceled. State Fair is always when we've been on. So you're right, that would happen, but I do not, that doesn't worry me as much as having a 4th of July where people are really anxious to get rolling, seeing fireworks, seeing all this stuff so much as the other one. Now, you're correct. We may come down to that decision at a later date, but right now I'm kind of seeing where everybody is. And I think I still need to hear from you, Jason, if you want to chime in on the 4th of July, that'd be great.
I'm actually for having the 4th of July. I think we should do it. I think it'd be a mistake not to do it. People can come or they cannot. Worried about it, they can stay home. So I think we should do it. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Thank you, Jason. Todd?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I respect Rich's opinion, but I don't see the two decisions tied directly, because in the next 30 days, things are going to change. Change either for the better, the worse, or maybe there's a possibility of holding Village Days. I would side on, and I've talked to Rich. I'd be surprised if we do Village Days, but I wouldn't say no tonight.
So I guess to the board, what I'd like to do, I unnecessarily want to make this a vote, but I'm wondering if we, leaving tonight's meeting, can leave this in, if you would feel comfortable leaving in the hand of the staff. I've asked them to check with, again, other municipalities, or do you guys want to go on record on nay or yes or no on this 4th of July thing? So,
Mr.
Matt, please. Yeah.
I would think that we should be the ones voting and not leaving it up to the staff, but I was confused by the paperwork I have. It talks about canceling the parade and fireworks, but not the Lions Club celebration. So would we be canceling fireworks?
No, and Lions is telling us they are going along with us. They're canceling. Is that correct, Rich?
Cancel, but not.
Mr. President, the answer is yes. We need to have a final decision from the Greendale board today because we have an obligation to all of the bands that we have booked as well as the other vendors to let them know that we are either on tomorrow, which is 30 days out, or we're canceled.
Okay. Trustee Chadwick?
I have absolutely no problems taking a vote now.
Okay. Then I would suggest that we have a motion and a second, and then we'll take a vote. So if I could get a motion?
I just have
The
another.
motion would be to cancel the 4th of July.
We've talked about the not being able to have enough support for the fireworks or the parade, I guess is separate because people are just canceling. But for the Lions event, would we also not have enough, police or infrastructure to support that event?
I think the worry that Rich, tell me if I'm correct, the worry they have is they would be inundated. They would be the only event running on 4th of July weekend. There's nobody else. So
Again,
that would worry. Am I right, Rich, or what?
Sort of, and I'm not trying to minimize this, but I want to draw a parallel to Village Days. If indeed we
don't use Village Days, but tell me about 4th.
But I have to because it's a parallel.
Now,
we will be the only, just like Village Days, we will be the only event that will.
Yes, but okay.
There's no other event that will be happening for the 4th of July.
So there is
no other event that would be happening for Village Days. So if the
so you're making a good.
Gentlemen, the point's been made.
I understand, but I
Trying
guess
to
what
motion.
the stress here is that if the village decides they want to continue with a festival, we will do that if the village has the infrastructure to support what could be an anticipated crowd that we may have never seen that could be bigger than the 75th.
That's right. And listen, I think at some point we got to go. Sally, I see your hand. Don't worry. And I see Rob's. But I think at some point we got to go along with our staff. I've heard from the police chief. I've heard from some of our staff that what are we doing? So how would we handle this? And what are we doing? Are we prepared? So again, if we want to leave this in the board's hand, I'm asking you guys tonight just to figure that out. I'm going to go to Sally first for the question and then Rob.
Okay, I was just going to say, basically, we can make a decision tonight on the 4th of July.
Yes.
We cannot make a decision about the Village Days because it is not on the agenda. Rich knows that. He realizes that. He has been a former trustee. Okay, so he knows that we cannot make that decision. If the Lions so choose and feel that they want to follow the leadership of Rich to say that it is in parallel, and that's their decision. That is not the village's decision. The village decision will come as soon as we get it on the agenda. So if the Lions decide to cancel out on the 4th of July, if they decide to cancel out on the Village Days, that's their decision.
Thank you, Sally. And Rob?
We need to get going on this. So
Yes.
I make a motion to, I move to cancel the 2020 4th of July parade and fireworks due to the COVID-19 outbreak.
Do I have a second?
I will second it.
All right. I have first and second, so we'll take a roll call. This is to cancel the parade and the fireworks.
I have one more
Yes.
discussion. It's not, maybe not discussion. I just wanted to see if Ryan had any, or the chief had any comments at all about, I think that's the most important part to me is, do they have, if they
Chief?
tell me that they don't have the capacity to deal with the potential amount of people that are.
Yeah, I guess I've talked to Todd a little about it recently, and I just know the amount of manpower that we're using right now with the protests and the looting that are going on, and guys are working extremely long hours. I just know for that festival, we would have to staff probably heavier than we've ever staffed before, and I just have concerns about parking down in the village center and being able to control a crowd that could be much bigger than anything we've ever seen before. I mean, even if you go back to the 75th anniversary, I mean, we staffed pretty heavy on that, and I think that could make that look small, or this can make that look small. So I obviously will follow the direction of the board, but I do have some concerns.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, with that, we have a first and second. I'm going to ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
Trustee Olet,
Aye.
Trustee Siborowski,
Aye.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
Trustee Sell.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. We will put out a notice then that we are canceling the 4th of July. 4th of July only. Any discussion that people have come to you on the village days, it is still on. It is still moving forward. But this one is off. So we, and Todd will, and Sarah, we'll put this out on the website and stuff, I'm sure, and get it out. Okay.
Yes.
All right, with that, that's the last thing on here tonight, except that, manager, do you have any report tonight?
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is we don't usually discuss police tactics and staffing, but I want the board and the public listening to know that these last few nights with rioting in the northern part of the county, we've been well prepared that if it would move down here, we had staffing and preparation neighbors to help each other if one area was targeted, let's say by looting. And I'd just like to thank Ryan and all the police officers that put the extra time in and left their families nights that they normally don't work. And work the night shift where some of the more senior officers probably hadn't worked the night shift in many years. So thanks to the police department.
Here, here.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Chief, did you have something to say?
No, I'll just thank you for saying that, Todd, and I'll definitely pass it along to the guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for what.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, with that, I don't have any president's report. We haven't had any calls for the normal calls. Monday is the ICC calls, and I'll have a report back to all you guys from there. With that, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All right, I'll take a roll call for adjourning, please.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
Trustee Olet. I didn't hear.
I think she left us. Hello?
Trustee Siborowski,
No.
Donna
You want to adjourn?
I switched my vote to no also.
Go ahead.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
Trustee Sell,
Yes.
Trustee Chadwick.
Aye.
All right, guys, thank you. It's a tough decision.